Yeah. Hey. Woo. Wow. Let's go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Untamed. Wake up.
First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Wake up, 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 wake up.
Shout out to Sherman Wells.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. You better wake up from this.
It's time to wake up. 7 o'clock. If you believe in the concept of time, you're now joining us. This is First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Fresh edition happening now. We appreciate you getting up on this. What is it? Friday already?
Yeah, it is Friday.
Okay.
Man, one more week. Yeah.
One more week. It is Friday. So you know what that means. Love Supreme Friday. We're going to have a little conversation about what's good coming up this weekend, if anything, if you want to go outside, that is. Yeah, it's a little cold out here in Omaha, Nebraska right now. It is supposed to be, some more frozen rain and stuff happening tomorrow. So this will be the last day when it's cold but clear.
Freezing rain.
Freezing rain. Chocolate rain. Hey, appreciate you guys getting up. I see Michelle Moreno giving us a good morning. Good morning to you, man. Them Vine days. Vine was a treasure when it was up and running. I heard it was back. It's called Revine or something like that now, but it ain't gonna be the same. Yeah.
And the Tony Bakers and Kev on stages. Yeah, legends.
Freezing rain. Leia Keister in the chat. Good morning. She says happy. Oh, your turn.
Okay. Man, happy fry, yippee, yo, yay, yo, yip, yay, yippee, yay, yay, yip, yo, yay.
Oh, pretty good. Okay. I lost track myself reading it. So, all right.
Yeah. She helped me out.
Marla Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky family. Happy TGIF to everyone. Welcome. Heather Williams says, good morning, everyone. Right on. Michelle says, Michael Lee says, morning, y'all. What's up, man?
Hey.
Yeah, these names, the Facebook and changed the names upon us.
Got some names on y'all.
Sean McCarthy says, morning, First Sky Nation. Stay warm, all. Yes, please stay warm. It's real cold out here today. And Pops gives us a good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Thank you.
Hey.
Again, we appreciate you coming on in this morning. We got some new guests that are going to be coming through today. Y'all know Chatchimer, Maghie Jenkins. She's coming on through to speak to us early on. And then a little later on the show, Holly Burns is going to visit us. She actually took a visit to the McCook facility. Got to go inside and see what was up. So we're going to hear firsthand what was going on there. I feel like, sorry about this buzz going on. I got to get rid of. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing it. I'm like,
is that me?
Is this going on? Yeah. Appreciate that. Make the like button hot. Hit that like button if you're over on YouTube, especially like and subscribe. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button. And also, if you're on Facebook, do us a favor, share the show on your page. Let's get as many people in as possible. We can talk and have some good conversation. Man, Kateri, what's happening? Miss Petto is in the chat. Good morning, with some sunshine. Mama God says good morning, fam. Everybody's kind of up and early on a Friday. That's what's up.
Yeah, probably warm and cozy in the house. Let us know how you're feeling. How's it going out there? Temperature's dropping out here in the egg, man, too. So, yeah. Across the nation, man. Tis the season.
I talked to Mama God last night. Mama God was like, I ain't going nowhere for the next few days. It's too cold out. I heard that.
Heard that. Man, speaking of tis the season, how you doing, man? How's the sinuses treating you?
Yeah, man. Same thing, man. Change of season, cold, whatever I can blame it on. Bad diet. I got the sinus thing. Got the sinus thing going on for sure. Yeah, for sure. And the heat blasting now too. So if your filters ain't changed out, then you're just breathing dust in all day and night.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Yeah, just got to try to stay healthy on top of that and stay warm for sure. Got a Charnette Bradley in the chat. Give us a good morning. Good morning. Julie Prinzer says good morning, First Sky. Appreciate you. And there's Maghie Jenkins giving us a good morning.
Hey.
Once again, we were anticipating her as a guest coming up here shortly. So stay tuned for that. And since it is Love Supreme Friday, there is a lot of haps happening today too. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into them so we can get them out of the way. There's a lot going on in the community. And if we're missing any haps, you always know, let us know whether or not there's things going on over the weekend, especially if they're fun things, music, art, things that kind of get your mind off of what's going on in the world. Sometimes we need that. So first and foremost, just want to give a shout out to Chairman Fred. Chairman Fred. Yesterday, yesterday was 57 years ago. The 21-year-old brilliant leader of the people was taken from us. Long live Chairman Fred. Fred Hampton. If you don't know who he is, you absolutely ought to dig in and find out about this young brother at such a dynamic young age. Government felt they had to take him out. Police took him out, assassinated him in his bed because he was putting together what we now know as the Rainbow Coalition. And, he's after the same things that we after, the solidarity. He's the one that was really teaching poor white folks got something in common with Mexican folks, with black folks. We all band together as a Rainbow Coalition. We can fight the powers that be. Yeah. And they were responding to that in a big way.
Follow the money. In
a big way. Yeah, man. Follow the money season is coming up, and it's timely. There's going to be a lot going on there. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to recognize Chairman Fred as one of our heroes that is all about organizing and solidifying the people together because we're not outnumbered, but out organized. That's what it is. Also, man, on this Love Supreme Friday, I want to give a shout out to my man Flea. I don't know if you know who Flea is from Red Hot Chili Peppers, bass player. This cat has been a jazz head forever. He just put out a solo album of his jazz music where he's playing trumpet, where he's singing, is doing some things. Yeah, man. I remember back in the 90s, man, he used to always tell everybody, like, listen to John Coltrane. Like, he's a jazz head and been playing trumpet for a long time. So he finally broke loose and dropped something. I highly encourage you to go check it out. He's talking about, he says it's called, the title track is called A Plea, and the track features Flea on bass, vocals, trumpet, with the lyrics reflecting the political division in the U.S. and around the world. So he's grown now, talking about some issues even.
And talk about the Love Supreme, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. I would actually like to see more, like, especially hip hop artists get into, making jazz, man. I was all here for, Big Boy or for Dre and his flute album, man. Hey, let's get it.
Yeah, that was in heavy rotation for a minute, man. It was chill music right there, for real.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Dre. Also, don't forget, today is the Buffalo Chili Feed for Big Elk Native American Center. It's at the Center Mall. It's happening at 11 o'clock. It is chili eating weather, like RG says, for real. Yeah. But that's not all they have. They got the buffalo chili. They got regular chili. They're going to have fried bread. They're going to have peach cobbler. And, of course, this is a fundraiser for our man, Lavelle Wells, who's running Big Elk Native American Center. This is a fundraiser for him. So if you come there and spend $10 on some chili, spend $20 so you can make sure that he stays in the building and is doing the good work that he's doing with the native population and the black population. He's the bridge for the solidarity between our two peoples in a big way. So shout out to Lavelle Wells. Please support him. This is today at 11 from 11 to 4. He's at the Center Mall. So if you need more information on that, just look up Big Elk Native American Center, or get the address for Center Mall, and you'll find out exactly where he's at. This will also be in Friends of First Sky Omaha too. So definitely check that out. I know we got a lot of folks around here going in a big way. The 2 Plate crew is gonna be down there.
Big bag.
It's going down. It is absolutely going down. Also, of course, the Christmas in the Village is coming up. Shout out to Empowerment Network for doing the 15th annual Christmas in the Village, starting from 24th in Ohio to 24th in Burdett. This is one day, December 6th, from noon to 5. Everybody's getting ready for it. I drove down the other day, saw the lights.
The Deuce.
Yeah, man, the Deuce kind of rivals other spots in the city as far as the decoration and stuff's concerned. There's a lot of trees on the block, and they all get lit up around this time.
More than the decoration, man. I mean, the Deuce needs just as much respect as Dundee, Benson, Florence.
And then some.
Right. The Deuce,
for sure. And also, just want to make sure that we recognize that there's still a need for some things that's happening this season. So, North High's 3rd annual one-day toy drive is happening on the 9th. Put that on your calendar. You can drop off donations at North High at the front security desk during the school day on Tuesday, December the 9th, 2025. And of course, this is not an opportunity for you to drop off your old toys and your broke stuff and your junk and your trash. This is so that we can give some gifts to some folks. So make sure that they're new in the package, clean, ready. And if they are used, they got to be very slightly used and still looking new and all that stuff. So please don't bring your trash down to the toy drive. Shout out to North High for doing this.
Yeah, and if they are slightly used, let's sanitize them. Let's
Yeah.
wipe them down, spray them down.
Right, spray them down a little bit of Lysol like they did in the old days.
Yeah.
Tent, hat, and glove drive is also going on. You can drop off this stuff for at 2101 Woolworth Avenue. You can do this from now all the way until January of 2026. This is for the homeless community. So think of that when you got items that you can deliver then to them. You got old camping equipment and stuff like that you're not using in the garage. Go ahead and take it down. Tent, hat, glove drive for the homeless community is also going down as well. So yeah, lots going down. And also a new one. Support our community this holiday season. Support our Maya and Indigenous families in need this holiday season. Also, you can help by adopting a family. Gift cards are welcome for grocery stores and things like that. Yeah, lots going on here with this. Every act of kindness is deeply appreciated. Together, we can make this holiday season brighter for our families. Please contact 402-253-0352 or by email at jenny@pixanixim.org, PIXANIXIM.org. Yeah, man. So appreciate everybody who's putting these in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. They're trying to get the word out, and we're always down for getting the word out in a big way.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that, and we appreciate you. As we stated a little earlier, we got special guests coming on in. Maghie Jenkins is coming in to talk about mutual aid, and also later on the show, Holly Burns is going to come and visit us too. She went and visited the McCook facility, and we're going to hear firsthand about what's going on in there as well. So it's going to be an interesting Friday. Lots of good conversation. We hope everybody sticks around for both guests and get your questions ready. Again, it's a Love Supreme Friday. So if you find, if there's things that are going on in town, we would love to hear about it. Put them in the chat and put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha. So we appreciate that very much. And yeah, we're going to move it along. I see people in the chat going off. Michael Lee is saying today is the start of the YDA winter meeting hosted by Nebraska Young Dems.
Okay.
It's free for all young Dems, and we've got great speakers. If you want to cover this event, let us know. Okay, let us know. If go ahead and send over the flyer, any information you have for that. You can put it in the chat and put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha for us as well. So, yep, I appreciate the information. Also, Donnell Sessions giving us a good morning. Good morning to you. Our Sharnetta Bradley says, what you know about John Coltrane? That's what I was asking Flea one day. But Flea knows a little bit about it. Shout out to him for that. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning too. And I really appreciate everybody coming in this morning. I'm going to hand it over to Buddy. But I didn't even check in with you yet today, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, man. I was feeling, I'm good, man. Thanks for asking. Could have used a couple more winks, but 'tis the life, man. I think, it is what it is. It is what
Sleep is in short supply these days sometimes.
Yeah, but we got a week left in this thing. So, maybe be able to catch up on some sleep during the break. We'll see. It's usually when we get more busy, but I can hope. But anyway, man, I'm feeling good, man. Of course, looking forward to next year. As we've been talking about, a lot of things building, a lot of things going. Man, if you haven't already began planning your 2026, what you doing? You're behind, man. So yeah, let's get on it. Beyond that, looking forward to today's conversation. I actually been trying to get Sister Jenkins on for a while to continue this conversation about mutual aid that we've been having here on the show. And then also, a few topics, that I've been paying attention to. I'm definitely looking forward to bringing it all to you. I do also want to say good morning. I see a Charnette Bradley asking us, you had mentioned asking us about the John Coltrane. You must be new here. Every Friday is Love Supreme Friday here at First Sky Omaha. Welcome. You might learn something.
The Love Supreme is going down.
Hey. Also, good morning, Deborah, Miss Deborah Wright, one of my mom's best friends, and all the fam coming in. Black Dynamite. Good morning, y'all. Definitely get your conversation hats ready. Definitely, let me know what you think. A lot of things going on in the news cycle. So big shout out to everybody who has shared stories on Friends of First Sky Omaha and continue the conversations on Friends of First Sky Omaha. A lot of things to dive into, starting locally. Of course, we've been looking at what the Omaha Port Authority is going through, the back and forth, trying to get the funds from the state funds that they believe are owed to them and by proxy to all of us. As again, the Omaha Inland Port Authority is wholeheartedly created to spur development, economic development, buildings in North Omaha. And again, not getting all of the funds, but they got some of it shaking loose. So we'll talk about that Also, as we continue to set up for Following the Money, which is next season's theme, looking at what's going on with the broadband situation. Apparently, there's a some back and forth, I'll say. Governor Pillen, which is kind of par for the course, actually, not accepting the full money from the federal government. Again, Nebraska receiving hundreds of millions of dollars, let's just say, to expand its broadband in the state. And again, Pillen's electing not to use the full funds. And I got some ideas about what that might mean, especially about the rural areas of our state. Talking about communication, again, we have this Lanes of Change project that we have rolling out. Strategic communication is the first lane. And if certain people don't have access to internet, what does that mean for the information that they have access to, especially in light of rural areas only having one or two news outlets? What does that mean for information? And speaking of information, moving to the national level, apparently the State Department is set to deny visas for fact checkers and others, citing censorship. Again, if you remember, Facebook and other social media platforms rolled out the use of fact checkers and people that would, again, fact check certain posts and information spread on social media. And now they are in danger of not being able to travel or to work in the United States under a visa, per this latest directive from the State Department. And again, the use of information, especially ahead of an election. What is going on with the dissemination of information,
That's
if
crazy.
you will? Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Also, speaking of the dissemination of information, and again connected to setting up the money, we definitely have to, or following the money, we got to look at what's going on with CNN and Kaushi. I don't know if anybody has heard about this. Again, a new market in gambling and betting that allows people to not only bet on sporting events, but to bet on real life events like elections, market crashes, market shifts. Yeah, we're gonna have to get into all of
I
that.
mean, if that ain't enough,
We're gonna have to get into all of that and more.
what they're trying to do with this is crazy.
Man, and add into that the layoffs that's been going on. We got a lot to talk about. Of course, we also have two guests coming through, so hopefully we'll be able to get into it all. Of course, the conversation does continue on Friends of First Guy Omaha. So again, big shout out to all those that are already there. If you're not, go ahead and check us out on Facebook. Again, Friends of First Guy Omaha on Facebook. Also, make sure you like, share, subscribe on YouTube. We're live there. Good morning to everybody. Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, before we go to break, I just want to make sure that we are making sure that we're getting all of it in. It is Friday. There's a lot going on, a lot of haps happening, a lot of things that we need to be kind of talking about in the community as well. One of which is the person that we lost just recently, Thomas Curry, is going to be his celebration of life is going to be happening at St. Mark's Baptist Church, 3616 Spalding, Friday, December 12th at 10 a.m. And also the repast is going to be at 5421 North 103rd Street from 12 to 4. So we ask everybody wear any shade of brown if possible. The Curry Cannon family appreciates you all. This is something that they're doing for the public because there's so many people that have been reaching out trying to find out how we can honor his life. And so they went ahead and put this together, and we appreciate the family and everybody who did this. So if you're so inclined to go out, this information is all over Friends of First Guy Omaha already, of course. Man, Thomas Curry, rest in peace. It was a hard loss for the community in a big way. So I just wanted to make sure that we honored that and put that information out there as well. And just in case you had not heard that. Also, we got to talk a little later on about Bud Crawford and what's been going on here, man. I was kind of proud of Bud yesterday with his post, to be honest. If you
want all the smoke,
if you're a Bud fan and you're on Instagram, I highly suggest you go to his page and hear what's going on, because he brought the smoke in a big way. They try to strip him of a title over not paying some fees that is kind of out of pocket, sounds like, and he putting people in their place. So shout out to the champ for always keeping it champ like. And you might see a lot of headlines around here about his title getting stripped. He's still the champ, whether they want to hold the belt or not, don't matter. And once again, hear from his mouth. You can go to his Instagram page and let him tell you what's going on and what he's going to do about it. So shout out to the champ. Just wanted to give a quick one.
Hey man, what's a belt when you the people's champ, man? That's the people, man. It's something about the people and the power they hold. If only you knew.
What's a belt, bro? For real. This is so real. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to give a couple things like that, and also shout out to the OEAAs. There was a meeting. They had a meeting last night. They were feverishly trying to get this going for February 15th. Just watching all the members of the OEAA board working to get this the 20th annual Omaha Entertainment and Arts Awards off the ground. So definitely make sure that you get your tickets early. And you can go to the website and pick that up as well. And yeah, a lot of movement happening here to get this show on the road. Takes a few months to get it going. So even though the show is at February 15th, there's a lot of behind the scenes that have to happen. The team is working hard to make it go down. So I please support them doing this. The award show is a very, very important thing for our community in a big way. So we'll talk more about it as closer that we get. In the meantime, between time, let's take a quick break and come back and jump into a couple things before we get to our guest. We appreciate you joining us today. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to Gawd. Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back.
Christmas in the village at 24th and Lake, where the love runs deep and the memories are made. From the Big Tent boutique to the cocoa we taste, everybody's welcome. It's a holiday embrace, yeah, we celebrate, we elevate, laughter in the air. It's Christmas in the village.
Welcome back. The AI be jamming, boy. That data center be cooking.
Hey, man. Hey, I hate to love it.
Welcome back. Appreciate you joining us here on First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
And my name is Paul B. He's buddy to Gawd. We got a few things to get into before we get to our special guest. We have special guests coming up. Maghie Jenkins is going to be in the house in a minute. And a little later on in the show, we have Holly Burns coming. We're going to be talking about some things that continuing the conversations on some things we've been talking about over this season of Space is the Place in a big way. And also where we're naturally gearing up to this Follow the Money season that's coming in January 15th. Our break is happening December 13th. We're going to stop the show for a period of time and come back with the next season, Follow the Money, in January. And it's going to be a doozy for real. Yep. Yeah. In the meantime, between time, let's jump into it real quick, buddy. What's first on the agenda?
Man, starting with the kind of the hodgepodge, I guess, mixing of Follow the Money and Spaces as Places, talking about, again, the Omaha Inland Port Authority, the space that they're trying to direct some money to, to develop. Again, talking about North Omaha, a huge swath of North Omaha. Actually, do you have that that map handy? No. Okay.
No.
My bad. But yeah, again, if you haven't seen the map, it's a huge swath of North Omaha that is covered by this Omaha Inland Port Authority, which is part of the reason why you should be looking out with what's going on. Again, hundreds of millions of dollars set to come to that area, to that authority. But in the words of Ice Cube, either they don't know, don't show, just don't care about what goes on in the hood, man, because they've been funny with the money. Again, we've been talking about, actually, earlier this week, had a conversation with Senator Terrell McKinney, who was a part of creating the Omaha Inland Port Authority through a legislative move. And a part of that move, a guaranteed certain allotment of funds to come from the state to the Inland Port Authority, again, to spur economic development in this area. However, there's now $11 million hanging in the balance that has, been a part of a back and forth. And it has reached a point, I guess you could call it, where some funds are actually being released, but it is not the full allotment that was expected. Again, there's a total of $30 million that is set to come from the state to the Inland Port Authority over the course of 3 years, breaking down to about an $11 million allotment every year. So this year's allotment has been held up. Again, the state has acknowledged that they will actually go back and pay about $2.3 million of the $11 million that was expected to come, to which Senator McKinney is saying he's frustrated. They will, of course, accept the funds and go through the processes set up by legislation to get the funds to begin to start programs and projects, just like the business park or the innovation district or even the sports facility that they're building in the Carter Lake area. Again, a lot of development, a lot of projects, a lot of money being pointed towards this area, but not all of it. Again, Senator McKinney felt like this could be a precedent for more funds being held, as this is not the only allotment. There's also a separate $120 million investment from the state for a business park and innovation district to be developed within that Port Authority, as I mentioned. As far as what's going on with those funds, that's still up in question. Of course, the business park still hasn't found a location, still hasn't found anywhere to even begin to do the study to see if it's viable to even break the ground before they build. So again, very, very premature in this process. Enough premature for certain senators to act funny with the money, to say, hey, we need to divert it elsewhere, which we'll be talking about in other stories. Black Dynamite kind of already on that, talking about Penland maybe using the broadband funds to fight this debt issue, which we have to know is a part of this, as again, the state is going broke. I mean, that is a reality. The state is going broke. And of course, that means that they're going to try to rob Peter to pay Paul. And I guess in this occasion, we're Peter.
Yeah. We'll have to stay on top of that. I think it's funny the language that the article talked about. They shook loose a little bit of that money. It just gave me that visual of them, sitting up there trying to peel away what's already allotted and get as much as they can to get going. I'm sure that a lot of the holdup has to do with that. It has to do with how much money has been released in order to move the project forward. Nothing moves without some loot. So I mean, it's interesting to see what they're going to end up doing and how much people are fighting for this situation. You kind of said it all, so I don't have really any much to add. If you what say you, Chatchimers, let us know what you think about this situation, or if you've been to any of these Port Authority meetings, if you've been a part of this, you've been hearing something behind the scenes that we haven't. Right now we're just still trying to gather some information while we let the Senator McKinneys and people like that fight to shake the rest of the money loose for this situation. So, I find that map. It is a huge swath of the area around the north side. Basically, there's so much construction, so much stuff happening here that's slated to happen anyway. We're kind of anxious for it to get going so we can kind of move the needle here. But again, it's a constant fight. It was a fight to get the money. It's a fight to keep the money. It's a fight to use the money with what it was allotted for. You got to play defense for people that are trying to get the money before it gets spent.
Man,
hot mess.
All my life I had to fight, and the fight is going to continue, man. It's not just us. Again, while yes, Senator McKinney is going to do what he has to do for the Inland Port Authority and the legislation that he helped draft, I think this is also a bigger picture, bigger situation that we all should be aware of. Which again is timely as we prepare to get into following the money, talking about the deficit or the debt that the state finds itself in. Not only are projects like the Inland Port Authority seeing their hair get cut or their money getting undermined, but also state agencies being undermined and people being let go as well. Paul, if you know where I'm going with this, Nebraska Examiner reporting 22 cuts of full-time staff in the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. Again, the DED, the Department of Economic Development, again, has reportedly let go 22 full-time staff in the last 2 months alone. And that's coming in the face, or I guess opposition, of the state officials initially denying rumors of downsizing. Again, according to Nebraska Examiner, Nebraska's Department of Economic Development now acknowledges that it has paid roughly 22 fewer full-time employees over the past 2 months. Similar workforce reductions have also impacted various other state agencies, prompting new concerns from the frontline workers that Governor Jim Pillen and his administration are focusing on staff cuts to balance Nebraska's budget, which again is only the beginning of these cuts, not just staff cuts. We've been talking about UNL and some of the programs that have been cut there because UNL is losing their state funding because the money is funny. The money is funny in this state, and it's very interesting It's not really just this state either. Of course, we've been seeing layoffs across the board around the nation, especially in government positions, not just from the government layoffs or from the government shutdown, but Doge before that. It's going in a direction where the question is, how are we going to be able to feed ourselves? Where are we going to work? Where's the money? A lot of these questions can be answered with mutual aid.
Very, very much so. Before we get to that, shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston that has come in saying, stop focusing on the 11 million in question. What is happening with the 120 million already in the bank? All of the money, indeed. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk about mutual aid with our next guest. Stay tuned. Maghie Jenkins will grace us with her presence. We'll be right back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the God.
That they, the establishment, intend to play the role that Germans play. We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews play. They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God, and we have Maghie Jenkins in the chat. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you
guys hear
doing? Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yay. I'm doing pretty good. It's
It-
Friday.
It's so good to have a Chatchimer as a guest coming on in. We've been talking with you for a long time, so it's good to finally have you on the show.
Yeah,
Yes,
might be
lovely
some
to
of
be
our
here.
some of the fans' first time seeing you. So again, thank you for joining us. And yeah, this is a very very timely conversation as Michelle Weston actually, man, right before the break, very very timely comment talking about again the $120 million that was sent to the Inland Port Authority that's already in the bank. That's where the 11 million actually came from because there's interest that accrues as that money sits in the bank. But again, we can't always trust the quote unquote powers that be to do the right thing with the money. We again, which is why next season we will be following the money. But before then, again, looking to speak to Sister Miller Jenkins about mutual aid. What can we do ourselves? Again, how can we support ourselves and kind of unplug from this matrix and redirect our resources? So, how can we do it? How's it? Where do we start?
Well,
I guess.
I guess I want to jump off by saying that the number one thing to know about mutual aid is that it is solidarity, not charity. There is a massive difference between performing charity and participating in mutual aid. It's not the same vibe, it's not the same intention. Mutual aid is based in the understanding that us acting together is an act of liberation and that we are using it as a tool of liberation. So it is not just you helping your neighbor or you helping your community member. It's you helping your community member or neighbor knowing that they are in the position of need because the systems that are currently in place are keeping them there.
Mm.
And part of the follow-up inside of mutual aid is that it's a continued conversation about what liberation work looks like. Who are we being liberated from and why? And how do they hold power and why? And then what are the steps as a regular, average, everyday citizen do you do to eliminate the grasp that they have on that power? And one of the ways that we found in Lincoln that works really well for our community is that we do free grocery programs. So we have the Lincoln Community Cares free grocery program that's every Wednesday on the corner of First and O Street, right by the City Mission. Then we have the EFGP or the Everett Free Grocery Program that's on the corner of 12th and F Street. And then this will be our official 4th week of the Peter Pan Park free grocery program
Heard
that
about
is
that.
on Saturdays at 3 o'clock. EFGP is Sundays at 3 o'clock on 12th and F. But in those free grocery programs, we provide free fresh fruits and vegetables, a guaranteed hot meal, survival items like deodorant, toothpaste, shampoo, razors, condoms, things like that. And then we also provide clothing. So
Nice.
shirts, pants, socks, things like that, hot hands. But we also do a step beyond that. And for the Everett Free Grocery Program, we have a direct aid group. So we've spent thousands of dollars this year on paying for people's rent, their light bills, their phone bills, their cars, putting people in hotels during the winter. Last winter, we put probably 20 people in hotels throughout the winter to help make sure that they did not die. Mutual aid also looks like I bugged the city for the last 8 months to get, there's one bus stop by the jail in Lincoln, and it didn't have any glass in it. There was nothing to protect you from any of the elements. It was just a metal structure, open metal structure. So I bugged them, bugged a lady at the news, bugged a couple of other people, and finally they put the protective glass back up in that bus stop. But that is mutual aid. Doing something knowing that people are going to be injured if you do nothing. If you are not a part of the solution, then you are actively participating in the problem.
Yeah.
So you just hit me right now. The mutual aid, I'm glad you're clearing this up. I'm thinking it is a lot of like what we're doing for our neighbors, but mutual aid can also include going to the powers that be and saying we need this fixed, we need this done as well. So it's more about the getting as many people together to go do that type of work for whatever works. So okay, I'm getting it. I appreciate you laying this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mutual aid is community buy-in. You cannot perform mutual aid. You can participate in mutual aid only when you are connected to and participating in your community.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are not connected to the people you are trying to help find liberation for, then you are not participating in mutual aid.
So that disqualifies, politicians that come in and do a little bit during election season and people that do performative stuff in the city and so on, right?
Poverty pimps.
Well, this is one of the reasons why every time a politician or anybody else is on this show, you see me in the chat asking, do you even know what mutual aid is? Have you ever participated in? Because most people assume that charity is mutual aid. When you are benevolently giving something to somebody, you are not performing mutual aid. You are doing something that makes you feel good in the moment. You are doing something that is solely focused on you, your emotional reaction, your feel goods that go along with it. Mutual aid is supposed to be challenging. You should probably feel sad, angry, upset. But in a group, mutual aid is nothing that you can do alone. You should be doing that with others. So it's very interesting to me to watch people in power, because one of the parts of mutual aid inherently is attacking the powers that be, attacking the politicians for not doing their job, attacking the government for not doing what it's supposed to be doing and functioning how it was created, because the system is not broken. It is working exactly as it was designed to. We are all supposed to be suffering, and nobody should ever trust somebody in power with your money.
Ladies and gentlemen, do us a favor and share the show on your page right now, because if you do not get the word out that it's going down right now on this show, that this is what we've been leading up to, is this definition and this understanding. I'm sure that you've heard us. We didn't know the definition of mutual aid, but we've been sprinkling ideas of it here and there this whole season, because we're trying to get to this what can we do point. You know what I mean? This is
Knock
it.
on a door. I mean, like the main thing, I guess, for me, my biggest thing was I can't do nothing.
That part.
I spent years doing a whole bunch of stuff that I thought was mutual aid, but it wasn't. It was charity. It was me going about looking at a need and being like, I can fill it. I can do that. I can pop in and do this, and I can pop in and do that. But me independently was focusing on me and getting into a group of, I can't even say they're left wing, because we're not left wing or progressive. We are liberation workers. So getting into a group of liberation workers, of sovereignty seekers, And that's something I've been dying to toss out there, is when we're talking about all of this, you got to be really careful what you're asking for, right?
Mhm.
When you're asking for freedom, freedom from what? Freedom to what? What we should be asking for is sovereignty,
Mm.
ecological and bodily autonomy. That
Oh.
means that you are autonomous. You don't owe or are responsible to anybody other than your community and the people that feed into and feed from you. That's what you're going for, is sovereignty. You don't
This
want
is
freedom, because freedom implies that there's still power sitting somewhere else.
that you're being free from. This is ringing. This is striking a chord with me in a big way. After living in Hawaii for 10 years and working with the brothers out there on getting back their sovereign nation of Hawaii.
Man,
This is very much you're not over there to ask permission to give somebody that has the power give you something back. You're over there to take it and be autonomous. So I'm really resonating with this idea as well. So
yeah.
you don't really ask for your freedom, you take it.
Man, which is again connected to this idea of nationality that I've been, kind of pushing. It's all wrapped into the same concept. If you don't understand that when you are a nation and can identify that nation, have connection to the human history, that continuity, understanding that black was created somewhere and that's not the actual name. Like, it's a name that was given that's tied to a whole history, and being freed from that, and understanding what that
Book
means and what
club
that looks like.
stamped from the beginning. If you would
It's
like
like
to know the history of racism, where the term black and white came from, why it even started, fun fact, brown people started it. Portuguese people decided
mm,
the delineation of black and white, and they considered themselves white.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
what's
think
which
Trump
what's
would
the name of the
now.
book? What's the name of the book?
It's called Stamped from the Beginning.
which is
Ibrahim X. Kendi.
first of all, the Lincoln Liberation Library. I'm putting that out there. That's also part of the things that you're doing. So you're not only feeding people, but feeding people's body, but you're feeding their minds as well with the Liberation Library. And two, Paul, you've been talking about this very thing. Like, these sentiments don't go anywhere. And if you understand this history that isn't talked about, then you see the news differently. Because again, there is a politician, Moreno, who is pushing the not the ability, basically pushing back against dual citizenship. I'm trying to
Hmm.
frame it right, but again, he himself is not an American born, or I think he's a first generation. His parents are immigrants, and he's pushing this whole not having dual citizenship legislation. And man, yeah. Proximity to whiteness and what that means, what that actually looks like, not just in America, but also in South America and other countries. Yeah, very interesting. But I digress.
Mm.
Well, and the fact that this is a global issue. Yes, that's the
Man,
one I
Paul,
want
okay.
to preface
See,
that with. It
Paul.
is a heavy read. It is a
Yeah.
thick book, which, I mean, thick book's going to take you a long time, but the content, it is a heavy read. And so one of the caveats that we have on the Liberation Library about this book is that you should have a person or a group of people that you can process that book with, because a
Mm,
lot of that stuff can't just live in your head, and you need to get it out and be able to talk to people and get that processed.
That's why you said book
mm.
club. That's the book club book. Okay,
Ooh,
got it,
Book
got
club,
it.
book club. Please, please,
okay.
please, please. I love me some thriftbooks.com. So if we ever do decide to kick off a book club, I would be willing to provide the books to be able to send out to people so that we can all be reading on the same page at the same time and all that jazz. Like,
Okay.
please plug me in. Like, education is my gig. It's one of the big things that got me into mutual aid, was educating myself and doing some
Mhm,
reading and getting connected and learning what liberation work looks like. I love that we brought up Fred Hampton, because I tell people all the time, we're living in historical times. Pick a
mhm.
historical figure and start emulating that person. So for me, I've picked Fred Hampton and Sojourner Truth.
Mm.
Those are
Wow.
the two people that I look at in history and I say, what impact, if you had been allowed to do your druthers with the lack of restrictions that we have in modernity, what would you have done? What would you be doing? And then whatever that is, I start to do that.
Mm.
You would be starting a library. You would be starting an education program. You would be feeding the people. You would be meeting the people where they are in their neighborhoods and asking them what they need. because that's a bigger part of it too, is you can't just provide things for people and assume, you're going to eat what I give you, you're going to take these clothes that I give you. You got to ask people, what is it that you need? What is it that you're looking for? What are you struggling with? Because again, that's the difference in mutual aid versus charity. Charity says, I'm going to give you a plate. You don't like what's on it, then pick around it. Mutual aid says, I'm going to provide a plate. You tell me what goes on it.
That's interesting. That's I'm as you're explaining that, I'm thinking about the school lunch situation. Like literally, charity is I'm gonna give you a cold sandwich, and if you don't want to eat it, pick around it. Good luck. But mutual aid is okay. Let's figure out who's not eating and how to help them.
How to get it to them, Black Panther
And
style.
why aren't they eating? Are you not eating because your family didn't have time to make your meal? Are you not eating because you don't have the financial means to eat? Are you not eating because the meals provided for you, you're Muslim and there's pork in that? Like taking on the cultural aspect of things too. Like the people that do mutual aid work with me, some of them look like me and some of them don't. Some of them speak the same language as me and some of them don't. Some of them come every week. Some of them come once a month. We have an amazing barber named Sam who has been consistently coming and giving people lineups. Do you know how big of a difference it makes for somebody to feel good inside their skin?
Man,
just to look good.
Do you know how many barbers we have throughout Lincoln and how we only have one in the city of Lincoln that has ever, in the 6 years that EFGP has been operating, come out and voluntarily just given their time and their skill?
That's interesting.
Like that's another thing.
Go ahead.
People have skills, but people don't even know to give them to the people, or how to, or where to, or why they should, or any of that stuff. And platforms like this are how we bridge that gap.
Yeah.
How we let people understand that, hey, we're out here. We're doing the work. I've been out here beating feet on the streets for 6 years doing this mutual aid. But everybody's got to pop in somewhere.
Right. I say it all the time. We all we got, but that's enough.
Just want to let people know, 7:47 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Maghie Jenkins, and we're on the subject of mutual aid. Really fully understanding, getting a good explanation of what that is, and a good understanding about it. Finally, we're finally able to speak to her and do that. She's been saying, "Put me on. I can break this down." So we're here, and if you're missing any of this, you're gonna have to go back and check it out on YouTube, especially. But do us a favor right now and spread the word that this is going down live right here on First Sky Omaha, and we're learning some stuff that's going to take us. This is the bridge. The bridge to me is like the space that we've been in, and the fact that we're going to have to follow the money. A little bit earlier in the season, we found this whole Panther program, a paper about all the programs that they have. I just put it in the chat for you guys to click on. But this is what it reminds me of. Everything you're saying is reminding me of how the Black Panthers moved and the programs that they had. And a lot of people know about the Breakfast for Kids program, but they don't know about the program of the ambulance that they put an ambulance program together. They put a rides to work program together. They basically created.
They put a spray your apartment for bugs.
Extensive program.
Like most people don't even think about that. But what about people that live in the projects of whatever version it looks like in your city?
Right.
What about those people that you didn't come in with roaches, but roaches were waiting for you when you did come in?
Man.
And now you don't have a choice. You just have to live there. The Black Panthers came through and made homes worth being homes. And that's the part. That's the part. They fixed small appliances. They would fix your oven and your stove. They would spray for bugs. It was community. And that's the big cornerstone difference in mutual aid versus charity. It takes buy-in from the people that are also paying in. I've talked a little bit before about the fact that like the lottery was started by Black people. Black churches specifically. Black churches in the South started the lottery. It was so effective that they started being able to financially back candidates for office because that became one of the needs that they decided to throw their money in. And that was when the government was like, oh no, Black people get power? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Snatched. That's mine. It's now the national lottery. You guys don't get to do that anymore. Enjoy your tithings.
And did that with the food program in school.
Yeah.
Snatched
They do that with everything. And that's why I advocate building parallel. And I also want to point out too that, like, okay, so Nebraska, we used to be 1 in 8. We are now at 1 in 5 children go to bed hungry every night. 1 in 5. So when Beeee was on here talking about, people were telling her she needed more data and statistics and facts. Who needs more facts than that? Who cares? Who cares if there's 6,000 children and they're saying that half, more than the state average, are food insecure? But let's just go with the state average of 1 in 5. That means your average classroom is about 25 children. So that means at least 5 children in your classroom are going to bed hungry every night. Do you care? Do you care that it's any of them? Should it be any of them? Even one? And in the bread bowl of the nation, in a nation that is the number one, you have 1 in 5 hungry kids?
Yeah, and what I'm understanding is that nobody needs any more data except for when you're trying to get money from these people that don't care about that, and that's the fight. So yeah, you can say that to us, and we will chime right up. What more data do you need? No more. Let's just feed kids, right? But the problem is you got to go get loot from people who don't care about that, and that's a little bit where that's coming from. So again, it takes us back to what you're talking about, like that one part of, like I said, me understanding mutual aid didn't include stuff like we also need to go fight them for the money that we need to do what we need to do too, as well as take care of ourselves, and that's part of the point.
Which
mutual aid also looks like protests. Mutual aid also looks like confronting the powers that be for the atrocities that they are performing against the people.
Man, definitely has to take place.
Mutual aid is education. Mutual aid is making sure that, again, community is the key, but education, buy-in, and understanding are the paths.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me jump into this with you. We're getting a pretty good definition of it. This is something we're going to have to continue to talk about. I'm quite sure this is a very nuanced and deep subject. But let me jump to your story and some of the things that you guys now. Obviously, you have some mutual aid situations happening in Lincoln that we're not aware of. Give us the history on that. How did that start? What's happening there? Give us a little bit of real life past theory.
Yeah. So 2020 was like a birthing time, right? I feel like 2020 was so tumultuous because it was kind of like labor. A lot of things were coming to be birthed into life, and EFGP was one of them. So the Everett Free Grocery Program started with about 10 people looking around and being like, people deserve food. Like, they lived on the corner of 12th and F, which is not too far from the Capitol, which means it is one of the more impoverished areas of Lincoln, and you can see it. You can see that people need help. People are struggling. People don't feel that love. And in 2020, that group of people was like, we can do that. We love our community so much. What can we do to love them better? And so they got together and they started doing a free meal on a corner.
Yeah.
And they said every Sunday, because consistency is care. And so every Sunday, rain, shine, snow, doesn't matter. Blizzards, doesn't matter. Every Sunday at 3:00, we are going to meet on this corner and we're going to provide people with the things that we need. Because sometimes we're going to be going through the aisle and we're going to need it. And sometimes we're going to be the one providing it. But either way, this is a thing that we see in the community that is not being taken care of. And we understand that we are the only thing that is going to come in and change it. Because no politician, no millionaire or billionaire is ever going to walk down this sidewalk and decide that somebody here deserves anything. So that's what happened. Is 10 people got together. They started having a consistent meal on every Sunday on that corner. And it grew. And now, I mean, it started off with like maybe 10, 15 people coming through the line. And now 6 years later, almost, we average out about 175 people every Sunday.
Man. Wow. And really, it's kind of interesting when you think about it, for us to, like, yes, tax dollars should be used, but when they're not being used, to wait for a politician to come to fill out to appeal to a committee, for that committee to deliberate, for them to argue amongst themselves, for them to send it to another committee, for that committee to argue amongst themselves, for them to send it to another committee, to send it to a department, to wait for somebody in that department to do their job, to actually send the funds, to actually get the thing done, rather than just say, hey, I got $5. Let's feed these people.
While it's sitting on Pillen's desk to sign.
And we are not a nonprofit. So we get no grant money. We get no money from the state. This is literally built on the donations that we get from
Mm,
online, the stuff
wow.
that we bring together ourselves, you know, it's
Do other groups, like other nonprofit organizations that are in the business of helping people, do they ever donate to you guys? Is there any money that
oh
comes from somewhere
yeah.
else? Okay.
Oh yeah, like we work really well with Susan Brown. We Can Do This, We Feed Kids.
Mhm.
We do some collaborations with them. We have collaborated with a couple of other nonprofits. It's not a like being umbrellaed underneath them, but you know, we just do really good partnerships with the people
Right.
that work in those fields.
That's how we
And
work
so
too.
yeah, we definitely collaborate, but you know, one of the core tenets again is not we don't mess with the government. So we are not going to be a nonprofit. We are not going to be a 501c3 or a 501c4. And another cornerstone is most places have restrictions on what we have no limitation. You can be as old as you want to be, as young as you want to be. You can be drunk as a skunk. You can be high as a kite because none of those things determine your deserved level of care.
Or
As opposed to most charities, you can't like we have one unhoused shelter in Lincoln for over 300,000 people.
wow.
One. So, and that homeless shelter will not take you if you are drunk, if you are high, if you are medically fragile, if you have diabetes that's unmanaged, if you have a seizure disorder. You can't house, they have like a family unit, but men, if you're a single dad, you can't be housed with your child. So things like that. Things like that. Now, what would be lovely, what I did for about 5 years was I had a mutual aid home situation where from 2020 until now, I've had a little over 300 people come through my home. Some of them stayed for 5 years, some of them stayed for 5 days, some of them stayed for 5 hours, some of them were just taking them to medical appointments. It really just depends, but over 300 people have been through my home and attempting to encourage people that everybody can do that.
I was
It's
going to
just
ask
about
you about
being a good friend.
yeah, spaces, because that's what we're hearing too. You kind of led with there's one shelter, and so with mutual aid, what does spaces look like? So you're telling me you open up your home.
Man, spaces and places,
You
and that's
again, nobody's
interesting.
coming in to give you anything. Nobody's coming in to give me a building. Nobody's coming in to give me an apartment complex that I can then help people with. So I got to work with what I got. And what I have is rooms and couches,
Man,
And what you got is
you know,
enough. Keep saying it. What
and
we
what I
have
have
is
is enough.
enough.
You know,
Yeah.
we all and it's true for everybody that works in that liberated space. If we
Right.
have it and we are able to give it without damaging ourselves, that is what we do because we do what we can to move the needle further towards sovereignty.
I mean, that's kind of at the heart of it. It's kind of not necessarily make everything black and white, but it's down to abundance or scarcity. And do you feel like there is enough? Because if you do, then you will be more equitable with the resources. But if you feel like it's scarcity, I got to hog, I got to get mine before it goes out. And that's just what it
My
is.
mom
But
told me something when I was little.
what's
She
that?
said, I asked her if we were rich. And she told me, if you're looking at our money in our bank account, no, we're not very rich. But if you're looking at the people who love us and who we love, then we are some of the wealthiest people in the world. So it
There you
really
go.
depends on what you look at as what your wealth is. What are you trying to
You
give?
value.
Because, suicide prevention looks like conversation.
mm,
Suicide prevention looks like good friendships,
that's
and
wild.
that's mutual aid too. And I bring that up because we have had one of our people from our distro who took their lives in the last month.
Mm,
Mm,
And it was, in my opinion, a direct response to how harsh and ugly the world is and how disconnected the world is from each other and
mhm.
itself.
Yep.
And holiday seasons are hard.
big time.
Holiday seasons are very hard for people that even have a lot of good mental stability, right? Family is tough. So before I jump off, I just want to make sure that people understand that mutual aid looks like a hug to somebody in need.
Mhm.
Mutual aid looks like an understanding that in order for us to all be liberated and move together, we all have to be alive. We all have to be in living bodies moving forward. And in order to keep us there, we have to be connected.
Yeah.
So maybe just start a day off with just saying hi to somebody that you wouldn't normally. Get
Mhm.
that connection going with getting something out there into the world that says that you are here and willing to be that loving piece
Man, I mean, like Frankie
that
Beverly
heals us
said,
closer.
we are one. That's it.
Very much so. Maghie, before we let you go, I just want to jump into the chat real quick. I'm seeing some love. Spencer X Taya says much love, Maghie. Am I saying his name right?
Oh yeah, we love Spencer.
Yeah, that's what's up. Also, Christy Norris is hollering, giving you a holler. Brother Pena says good morning. Linda Lathan is saying hi, Maghie. Cheryl Weston in the chat saying love those ideas. Keep the good work up. Thanks for clarifying mutual aid. This is what I'm really coming away with. I appreciate that for sure. Tisa Harden in the chat saying happy Friday, people. Also, this is Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat saying got to be careful about Ken Kerndy. He's a liberal and does not write for black people, but to make white liberals feel better about themselves. Still something we can learn from that book, I'm quite sure, though. But he also gives another book. He says Racecraft is by Sister Fields. Diggs digs a bit deeper than Kendi. So there you go. More suggestions there. Appreciate that. Also, Wanda Lewis in the chat says everyone has their own survival plan. You ain't lying. Putting things together is we can all come with some good ideas, I feel like, in a big way. Also, Carol Warner's in the chat says, you better teach, ma'am. This is good. Appreciate that very much. Also, Cheryl Weston says she just gave the reasons why the government shut down the Black Panthers. They were doing way too much for black people to have autonomous. Yeah, right. Also, it looks like Brother Wright is saying is co-signing exactly, not just Pillin, also Empowerment Network, OEDC, and many more poverty pimps in Omaha. Okay.
Well, and everywhere. Like anybody that has control of your tax dollars should not be trusted. And I mean, I say that with as much heavyweight as I possibly can, because if you have gained a space of power to be able to be in control of our tax dollars, you are inherently bought off already. You did not acquire that position of power independently, which means you are now tied and beholden to somebody else for their opinion and what they want to have done and in order for you to maintain that power, you have to do a whole lot of other stuff. So anybody that's in charge of tax dollars, anybody that's in elected positions of power, I will never platform or applaud them too deeply, because you did not get there off the merit of your word. You got there off the funding of somebody's dollars, and you are either saying or not saying a lot of things because of that funding.
Okay.
So like, how many senators have you seen say free Palestine? How many senators have you seen say free Sudan, bring up the DRC and the Congo? How many senators have you seen push back against the fact that Israel gets free healthcare, yet we literally had a government shutdown over ours, but it's with our tax dollars that they got that free healthcare. We have 1 in 5 kids starving in the state of Nebraska, but we actively participate in the bombing of multiple nations and the starvation in multiple nations. But how many senators connect those dots? How many congressmen connect those dots? How many people in any elected position actually take account and hold responsibility for the things that they're doing? But it's somebody else's problem. I'm just here. I can only do so much with the power that I've got to me. I've got no power, and I'm so powerful that we made the governor switch his tree lighting ceremony. They moved it after hours with a ticketed event now. Why? Because in 2023, I protested all by myself about Palestine. In 2024, a group of us came and protested for Palestine. How dare you celebrate a holiday based in Palestine while you're actively participating in the decimation of Palestine? Shame. Shame on you. Shameful moment. You should not be celebrating. And this year, they've moved it after hours as a ticketed event that you have to call your senator in order to get a ticket, because our protests have been so scary. Me by myself saying, as you're singing Silent Night, not in Gaza, was so terrifying that you now have to make this a pay-to-play event with our public dollars, mind you. Everything that's going into that is all publicly funded. But now you have to get a ticket.
This is we're gonna be talking about this a little later, but Trump is now acting like this would, what you're doing to them is a censorship of them, and and yeah, he'll start denying people's passport, calling fact checkers people that are shutting down your freedom of speech. So it's really interesting that you're talking about this thing that happened too. That now it's a ticketed event and everything is going on. It's a trip. It's a real trip.
Yes.
Go
I've been trying to get this in before she get out of here. Yeah, it's not a question, but we will continue this after she goes. But she mentioned something about parallel building. Again, people are being laid off, jobs. The conversation continues. Obviously, we gotta let you go because of time. But I've been trying to get this in. You mentioned parallel building. Keep that in mind, y'all.
Parallel building.
Yeah, she said we have to build parallel because while
you have
we're
to build
also
parallel. You're
holding,
not trying to overtake the system.
right.
You're not trying to overwhelm and overtake the system. You're recognizing that system isn't ours. It was never made for us, by us. It was never made to service us, and it never will, because it's not going to. It's not designed to do that. So what we have to do is design our own systems that are completely separated but parallel too. We don't want your SNAP program anymore. We want community gardens and educators that come in and teach us how to grow the food and how we harvest the food and what we do for our own self. We don't want your daycare programs, because we have enough educated people that have been kicked out of your system that we have come through and created our own.
Hence those nurses that just got declassified or dequalified. Again, we'll be talking about it. I'm trying to direct. Let me direct the conversation, Paul. I got it.
Yeah, no, I'm not stopping you, bro. I just want to make sure. That we got we're representing people in the chat because we were talking about that open in the home thing is what I want to get back to too before you go. Carol Warner is asking, with opening your home, did you have to adhere to any DHHS family housing codes? Are you offering your contact info? So she's definitely looking into something. One of the solutions that you brought forth earlier.
And yeah, and again with building parallel, who gets to tell me what to do in my own home?
That's right.
Who gets to tell me how many friends get to stay the night in my house? Who gets to tell me who's my friend and who's not? Who gets to tell me that that's not a family member crashing on my couch for the last 2.5 months because they were struggling? Who gets to say? No, I didn't ask permission. I don't ask permission for that kind of stuff.
And I do find it interesting because Sheriff Hansen made that comment kind of tongue in cheek, like maybe you should open up your house, knowing that he would never do. He even acknowledged that he would never do that. But yet here you are.
But I did. And that kind of cracked me up when he said that too, was like, oh, what if you brought somebody into your home? And I wanted to go and confront him and be like, but I did you? How many extra couches do you have in your home? How many extra, what's your guest bedroom situation look like?
So you had 300 people.
Here's some.
Yeah, I've had 300 people through my house. How many people have you had in yours?
Here's something for you, Paul. He won't house the people, but apparently he'll house your dogs. Yep.
Hey, that's great. We're gonna have to get out of here. We'll have you back for sure. We appreciate you coming through. I see people co-signing on a lot of this stuff here. We appreciate everybody that's come through. Oh, Tamara Dwyer's in the house. She isn't ours exactly. Co-signing on that. Appreciate that. Yes, thank you for your time. We will have you back again. We have to continue this conversation. The parallel building that Buddy's talking about, I definitely want to hear more about as well. We can get into it. Learned a lot today. A lot. I learned a lot. So thank you so much for that. And we will continue to work with you. Also, my man TYA. I'm sorry about that, Spencer X TYA. Yeah, man, I'm always butchering everybody's names, man. So don't take it personal. I appreciate you correcting me on that. But I'm thinking of him because I'm thinking of just people, our Lincoln our Lincoln ties that we've been trying to work on for a while as well. And I can see that there's some people this year is finally like I'm seeing more people that we can collab with and partner with in Lincoln, and also learn from you guys. You guys are already kind of starting these programs and this mutual aid stuff that you got some history here. It can show us how to get started, step 1, step 2, and so on. So we'll definitely be checking in with you on a regular basis. And again, just really appreciate everything that you brought to our attention today in a big way.
Yes.
Yeah. Any final words, my brother, before we let her go?
Man, no, we finally did it. Like I said, we've been trying to have you on for a couple of weeks. Again, thank you for pulling up to our Fund Fest. And it was nice to see you in person and kind of have a conversation with you. And of course, next season is Follow the Money, so I can see us doing this more next season. Let's again, it's all about directing our dollars to build parallel. So I appreciate the information that you share with us, and yeah, take care.
Get me on the book club.
Yes, we'll talk.
For sure. Matter of fact, yeah, we partnered with the library. We got some things we need to be talking to you about for sure. Let's do it. All right, have a good one. Peace.
Bye.
Man. Oh man, I don't know about you. Definitely learned a grip on some things on that one. Yeah, I need to digest that. Let me take a quick break. We'll come right back and jump into some more conversation. Don't forget, a little later on in the show, we have another guest that's coming through. Miss Holly Burns is coming through to talk about her visit to McCook. We got somebody who got in on the inside to see what's going on. We're going to hear it firsthand, so stay tuned for that. Meantime, between time, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
We got a whole nother hour, y'all. A whole nother hour. The conversation gets deeper in the morning.
It gets deeper. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all.
They're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, buddy to God. Appreciate all you guys that joined in. Yeah, Pop says she's great. Mama God says thanks for your insight.
Man,
listen, there's a reason why she's been a Chatchimer, friend of First Sky Omaha, First Sky fan for a minute.
she gets it.
In a big way. So I appreciate her coming on for real. It is 8:11 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're well into the second hour of the show. Yeah, man, time flies when you're learning.
Man, it does.
In a real way, bro. I'm kind of.
We all on a fantastic voyage right now.
Normally I'd get up, pace around here, have another cup of Joe, digest, think.
That's how you feeling. Right now.
Dude, I'm feeling like let's just cut the show right now. I gotta go think. But
You
we're not doing that.
had a couple of those sessions. You know how that's how you feeling.
Yeah, big time, bro. Big time.
Man.
Because it was a bunch of stuff that got to me. It was like we have been pushing out all these ideas independent of each other. Like little sparks, little she just gave like we've been shooting the stars, but she just gave us what galaxy all them stars is in.
The constellation.
Oh, you ain't gonna put that Dave Chappelle celebration on that one. The constellation. I like it.
Hey man, hey.
Oh, you roll.
Gotta figure it out, man. And we all stars, man. That's the thing. That's the thing, man. We all stars. The love supreme. Gotta let it shine, man. Gotta let it shine. It's enough. It's enough.
It is, yeah. We're gonna be digging deep. To me that conversation happened just in time too, as we end this season talking about spaces and places, and we're bridging this over to this follow the money season that's coming in January. We're going to be talking about the parallel building that Buddy is referring to. I'm seeing it in a bigger way. I absolutely thought that mutual aid had to do with us, kind of just being charitable and helping each other out where we see in certain areas and so on. But it's such a whole different way. I mean, the sovereignty piece is what got me. Understand that this is a different thing to build sovereignty than it is to help people within a system. We're within this system. There's a lane for that too. We're still on the lanes of change concept here. There's a lane for that too, but lanes, the lanes we're talking about are running parallel with each other. So
there you go. So
right.
Actually, let's go ahead and dive in, keep this conversation going. We do have a special guest that's coming through. So I do want to get these points in. And speaking of, lanes and building parallel, one lane that's on this freeway that we're kind of building out is economic development. That is a lane. And again, building parallel not only means, systems of health, systems of transportation, systems of feeding each other, but we got to look at this economic system and our buy-in, our inclusion in the system. Of course, speaking of inclusion, we've seen how the DEI whole conversation has played out. It's obvious they don't want to include us. I mean, it's very obvious that they don't want to include us. not to mention that they kind of don't have the money to include us. Of course, we just talked about the DED laying off 22 people. We've talked about the 300,000 or so people that have been laid off across the nation, mostly Black women. Actually, I think the number has actually ballooned to more closer to 600,000, so-called Black women that have been laid off. And now the Department of Education, as it transitions into whatever it's becoming, has dropped a bombshell on not just nurses, but many other professions across the board, but particularly nurses being singled out in this article, saying that they feel like they just received a slap in the face. Again, the Department of Education, this being reported by KETV, starting next year, will make changes to what qualifies as a professional degree, meaning nursing is no longer on that list. Now, what does that mean? That means that those who are seeking a nursing degree and need, financial aid, might come from a family or community or a background that doesn't necessarily have the financial stability or support to pursue higher education, and you need loans. Then now, under this designation, there are fewer loans that you can receive. Willa Prescott with the Nebraska Hospital Association said the changes won't just affect universities, but the hospital system as a whole. It feels like a slap in the face, Prescott said. The changes means federal borrowing limits for nursing students are going down. Professional degrees can receive up to $50,000, or can receive from $50,000 all the way up to $200,000 a year. It lowers non-professional degrees to $20,000 per year and a $100,000 cap. That's a big deal because an advanced degree for nursing, think maybe CRNA, is about $170,000, which means that many students, actually everybody who pursues a nursing degree from now on under this new designation, even with mutual aid, will still have to find $70,000 in order to invest in their own education. And again, when you add in race into it, I don't know about y'all, but I'm watching my community and where a lot of the young sisters are going. It's a lot of RNAs and registered nurses popping up in our communities, and registered nurses doing the thing. Driving Ultimas, got their crib, got taking care of the babies, doing the thing.
It's unfortunate. Tamara Dwyer in the chat is saying, listen, social workers were cut too. Says I have multiple licenses and have master's degree. It's disheartening for sure. People that I know that got master's degree are $250,000 in debt. I didn't recognize the idea of this designation. If it's not a professional career,
what does that mean?
Well, first it means the money's going to be funny with it. First and foremost, and there's more to it than that too. But let's just concentrate on that for a minute. That's crazy. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, man. That's deep. We were talking about nurses, but I had heard that there was many more professional careers that they're trying to act like it's not professional anymore as well. I can't think of off the top of my head which ones I heard about, but
I have a few other. It's not just nursing, as Tim Dyer is saying. Licensed social workers, also business. Those who are in getting business degrees, I believe, are on that list as well. Which again, if you look at the direction, again, demographics, a lot of young sisters getting into business as well. Again, Black women, per the statistics, the numbers, Black women are the most degreed, the most educated women in the country. So again, who do you think this is going to impact? Adding on to not just the economic impacts, but let's, for instance, just for a second, entertain the health implications. Again, we are in the process of many people's premiums going up. So not only is the cost of healthcare going up, but let's just call it what it is: the quality. What does this mean for the quality if the actual people who are in this profession aren't getting the support that they need?
That's crazy. Mama God said there are many. Yeah, totally. Also, Anthony Rogers right there, already playing with AI, replacing humans as social workers, nurses, and teachers. Yeah, Norris, we already have a nursing shortage that this will add to. That's the other thing I was thinking of too. There's been a nursing shortage for a while.
Man, I actually know a few traveling nurses who have tipped me off to the realities. Like, not even like since COVID, they have really not stopped as traveling nurses going back and forth from state to state trying to fulfill these shortages and it's not just there, teachers. Do we need to talk about education and teacher shortages? So, when you really start to look at the full picture of what is going on in this nation, where are we going? The only option is to build something new. The only option is to come together because, yes, all these people are laid off, but that means that there's a whole swath of educated, skilled workers who are not working.
Yeah, a new system. A new system has to be built. That's all there is to it.
While we hold the people who are taking our money because they're not going to let us stop paying taxes. Although there are a few articles I'm seeing and some ideas being put out about halting taxes and property taxes and things like that. But again, that takes debates, committees. That's not going to come tomorrow.
That's real. Here's a screenshot I just took of some careers that are going to be excluded from DOE's professional definition in healthcare. This nursing, physician assistants, physical therapists, occupational therapists, audiologists, speech language pathologists, all other fields. There's going to be shortages in architects now, accountants, educators. All education and teaching degrees are now not professionals. We mentioned social workers, engineers, master's degree engineering is not a professional. That's crazy. Business, as you stated, buddy, master's degree, MBA in business is not a professional. That's crazy. And then public health. So just a few of them. And this is why they're trying to change this up. I mean, let's figure out why. Let's look at the strategy here. What chess are they trying to play with? Taking these professional, taking them down from professional jobs. What is the reason behind this? Why are they doing this? It's a follow the money reason for sure. What is it all about? Could it have anything to do with the AI, like Anthony Rogers Wright is saying? He's saying, remember that all of this is what we actually meant by defund the police, divest and reinvest in services that the people need more than being policed and subjected to carceral solutions, for sure. Also, Mama God says, I watched a show that they pointed out many of these affected our children reporting careers. That's something to think about. Or they do have to do with children.
The Epstein of it all.
Right. Yeah, what's the chess being played here? What's the move?
Hey, we're here to figure it out together. Further down in the chat, Anthony Rogers Wright saying they are already playing with AI replacing humans as social workers, nurses, and teachers. And that as soon as he said that made me think back to articles that I read during COVID and since COVID about the growth of telehealth. And people accessing, healthcare through phones and Zoom and things like that. But again, how do you know that there's going to be a human on the other side of that phone or that Zoom call that you're talking to?
Real. That's real. Shout out to Ascender KML in the chat. Good morning. Saying this is bothered me at first and still does, but reading that even an MBA is not professional says something. You're right. You're reminding me about that conversation too. That's interesting. Anthony Rogers Wright says all this is only real if we accept it. I personally think we may need to start paying Trump rent for all the space we give him in our heads. None of this needs to be real or accepted. That's an interesting point.
Hey, we don't have to accept the narrative.
Says they have countries in mind that they want those professions to approve visas from. So another chess move there. Who are they going to allow to come over? What professionals they're going to allow to come over? This has to do with visas. Again, black women. Again, children. Actually, Maghie Miller Jenkins says elders, children, hospitals, and all of them are mandatory reporters of abuse. Is it really that shocking? Man. Tamara Dwyer says, I do telehealth therapy, but I do it on my own, not through a company, and use Zoom. So there you go. Mutual aid action there going on. Appreciate you guys chiming in on this. What you thinking, buddy?
Man, there's a few other stories that's connected to this, so just kind of branching off in my mind where to go with this. Because somebody brought up the whole visa situation, and there's this idea of censorship. But there's a few articles that I pulled this morning that deals with censorship and communication and the dissemination of information and what that means for us trying to build parallels. It's kind of hard to build if you just don't know what's going on and what's happening outside. Kind of juxtapose that with our next guest coming up here shortly. As far as what's going on with the McCook clink, again, kind of teeing up for this whole broadband situation. Again, there's some back and forth about the broadband in the state. Of course, in the state of Nebraska. Actually, let's go ahead and dive into it. Again, the state of Nebraska. This being reported by Nebraska Examiner, received over $400 million in federal funds to expand its broadband program or access to broadband under the Beeee program, which stands for Broadband Equity Access and Deployment. Again, the state received $405 million was awarded through this federal program to be used to connect unserved Nebraskans, mostly rural areas, to high-speed internet. However, this report acknowledges that a recent update came a day after Pillen announced that only about $44.5 million, or just about 10% of that allotment, will be used. And many are wondering, why isn't Pillen taking the full funds? Why are there 300 or so millions of dollars that are possibly being sent back to the federal government when there are people that could use those funds? Some lawmakers and, according to the article, other Nebraskans viewed the governor's announcement differently, not celebrating it, saying in a social media post, one, of course, you can take from this what you will because this is a political opponent, but Charles Herbster, a possible Republican challenger, criticized why only a small fraction of Nebraska's initial allocation would be used, with no guarantees that the state will be allowed to hold on to the remaining funds, which is something I think RG or Black Dynamite mentioned earlier. Could some of those funds be used to help make up elsewhere for the 400 or so millions of dollars that the state is in debt? But that might not be the case. Again, that could just be going back to the federal government for them to send to other states, which is most likely going to be the case. The Nebraska Public Service Commission, which is a regulatory commission created by the state, has managed all broadband expansion efforts up to this point. But again, the legislation would allow those federal funds to take that up and actually allow the state to kind of take that expenditure off of its budget, again off the state tax dollar budget, and be able to use for federal dollars. As far as the numbers, the impact of this, it's being cut in half. Again, the changes cut the number of program eligible locations from roughly 30,000 to just short of 15,000. While Haggerty, who's a part of the National Telecommunications Information Administration, argued unlicensed fixed wireless, which is what people in the rural areas have, again, is these I don't know if you ever heard of like HughesNet, these kind of very unreliable. Actually, in the article, it's pretty much compared to cell phone hotspot. So if you ever use your cell phone hotspot, it kind of works for some things, but it's hard to watch videos. In our case, if you're trying to load very ad heavy websites, it's kind of hard to do that, which a lot of the news sites that we use for the show, which sometimes you see me skipping out because these channels and these pages have ad heavy websites, which means that if my internet is slow, I can't get access to certain information. I can't get access to certain sites. I can't get access to certain things. And again, that is at the heart of what this means to me. Not only following the money and why Pillen is not accepting $300 million to maybe not just give those in rural areas satellite, but use the money to lay fiber, which yes is going to be a little more expensive, according to the article, actually 20 times more expensive. But if the money is there, why not give the people the access? So again, people chiming up in the chat, and I know our guest is waiting in the wings, but again, it's all my point in this is access to information and who gets that access. Keep in mind, rural areas are also news deserts. So some of these areas that don't have access to information through the internet might not also have access to a print newspaper because there's only one newspaper and one radio station in the area, and it's probably owned by a Republican.
You know what's before we move on from this, you got me thinking about some of the friends of mine that I got that are in rural areas, and they ended up buying Starlink, which is a satellite situation owned by Elon Musk. How many people do I know in rural areas that are giving Elon money in order to get some internet access? So
Behold, systems.
Big time, man. We appreciate you on this. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat. I'm not going to be able to cover it all because we do have a special guest waiting in the wings. We're going to bring her on in just a second, but this is, I appreciate what you're laying out here, buddy. It is the access to information is something that we're going to have to be. We are in this business. We're going to have to be looking at this over and over again. We're going to have to be changing platforms all the time. We're going to have to be figuring out how to stay in contact with the people that we are in contact with, and keep the audience that wants to chime in on these conversations. It's going to be something that we have to do. One of the things we're going to have to really rely on firsthand information. People that can go and bring back a report on something that they had to solve with their own eyes, not something that AI made up. That's going to be our next guest, who's going to give us some information on some stuff that she was able to see. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll come right back and jump into the conversation with her. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul Beeee. He's Buddy to Gawd. We'll be right back, y'all.
We understand that clearly they've shown by their actions that they, the establishment, intend to play the role that Germans play. We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews play.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul Beeee. He's Buddy to Gawd, and we got Holly Burns in the room today. How you doing?
Buenos dias, guys. Good.
Buenos
I
dias.
feel
Nice
I
to
need
meet
to
you.
sing with
Buenos
you all, like in the morning, but I'm
Yes,
like soul
yes.
voice, so I apologize.
No, that was a great. That was a perfect rendition of In the Morning. We appreciate that.
Yeah. I like it.
Well, it's very nice to meet you. We haven't met you yet, so this is a brand new for us. And thank you so much for spending your time to come on. And shout out to Maghie who connected us. And very nice to meet you, Miss Burns. Right on.
Yeah, Maghie is such a jewel and gem in our community. She really knows how to connect people. She's really down with mutual aid, and she gets the work done. You know, there's a lot of activists that talk, but she does the work. And so I was just so humbled and blessed when she says, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, "How can I tell you no?" Right? So here I am.
She seems to be a person to be tough to say no to. I can see that for sure.
More persuasive.
She scares me a little bit like Medea, but in a good way.
Yeah. That righteous fear.
Like Medea.
Man, but again, glad that she did it. Glad that you're joining us. Glad that we're having this conversation because it's information that we've been trying to get. Every Monday we have the senators on, and you would think that they would at least have the information on what's going on with these types of things, but even they don't know. And we actually earlier this week spoke to Senator Michaela Cavanaugh, who herself even pulled up to the corny clink, as I'm calling it, to try to figure out what's going on, and they didn't let her in. She said 6 hours, and they turned her away. So again, thank you for willing to share what you saw, what you experienced. But before we get into that, just a little bit about you, where you're from, what capacity you work in, kind of introduce yourself.
So I'm a mental health therapist, and I work with trauma and addiction. Those are my areas of specialty with children and families. And I'm bilingual. I was born here in Nebraska, but lived everywhere because my dad was in the Navy, and then I came back and went to school here. And my roots are from here. My grandparents were farmers and ranchers out in Mitchell, Nebraska, which is out clear by Scotts Bluff. And so, yeah, our bloodlines have run long here. And I always laugh because everyone says, oh, immigrants are so important to this nation, which, right on, totally get. But in our case, we're really indigenous to the United States. And when I testified, I think I kind of surprised Senator McKinney when I said, my grandmother was born in Fredericksburg, Texas in 1912. My grandfather was born in Carlsbad, New Mexico in 1906. My family's always been here. We didn't cross the border. The border literally crossed our family. So if I get picked up, where the hell are you going to deport me to? San Antonio? And so, yeah, that's just kind of the reality, right?
Right.
It's funny, but it's kind of like I have to think about these things, which is just morbid and very sad that the three of us literally can get pulled over for driving brown, and that's what's really, really sad. And you would think after all these years and all the progress that we've seen through the civil rights movement that we wouldn't be here, but unfortunately we are.
Yeah. Yeah. They're trying to take us back. So okay, thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, I think we all know, what this country really is and who this country really, who's indigenous. I mean, it's kind of interesting to be in Arizona or Los Angeles or San Diego and say, Mexican. Anyway, what took you to going into, the Cornhusker Clink? What was there somebody there that you knew, or you just were interested?
Yeah. So my sister and I, after the first No Kings March, we went into South Omaha for lunch, and we went to the Taqueria Tijuana,
My
which
favorite restaurant in the
Sunday, right on,
Yep.
is always packed, and there's only like a line, and you have to wait. And we were there with a couple of friends, and we realized there's like 7 of us in here. And this young woman who maybe had been 15 years old was standing there talking to us. And she said, ever since the raid, no one had been in. And we were like the first 12 customers there. And that just totally broke our hearts, because you could see like the fear in her eyes. And we saw that she was tired. And the more we had a conversation with her, we realized she was picking up shifts for her parents that were too afraid to go to work, right? And so we started a group called Taco Tuesday Familia, where we were like, damn it, we're taking it back one taco at a time. And if the only thing we can do in Nebraska is make sure that we are supporting immigrant-owned restaurants and grocery stores every Taco Tuesday, that's what we're going to do. And so we've been doing that. We've been growing. And we were invited up to McCook by a group of individuals that were going to be protesting there about 3 weeks ago. And one of my mom's best friends, Shirley Mara James, who's an immigration attorney, got a phone call the Friday before we were supposed to go up, and she had a client who just happened to be placed at McCook. And so call it universe, call it Buddha, call it God, call it whatever. The cosmos moved, and we were able to go in, and I went in as her interpreter. And at first I didn't know what I thought, right? Because I'm like, how am I going to feel about this? What's this going to look like? And we were there for the protest, and then we went in to meet with her client. And I think the thing that surprised me the most was how kind the employees of McCook were. And you could tell it was heavy on their hearts. And that is, again, just a testament to how Nebraska are centrists, and we don't want this. And you could tell it was like, we're doing this because this is our job and this is how we maintain our families.
Wow.
But we're not here to be inhumane to anybody that's here. We found out that about 3 weeks ago, there's 60 individuals there. They all seemed happy, healthy, had access to what they needed. There was probably 4 or 5 families that had gone in to visit the detainees. And one of the most beautiful things that I witnessed was children being able to hug the parent that had been detained.
Mm.
I go into other facilities all the time to do evaluations, and there's either like a wall or there's no touching, and there's all these very restrictive things. But even through those tears, there was connection, and I was like, right on. And the people that were in McCook that invited us, their concern wasn't these people should be locked up, is are they okay? What do they need?
Mm.
How can we help? And I think that is a sentiment that is just unique to Nebraska. As much as we hear Nebraska nice, and there's always going to be pockets of racism. In this case, we're not seeing that. And what we're really seeing is people saying, we don't want this. So why is it here? Someone explain to us how we ended up with this thing that we didn't want to have.
Because Pillin called for it. He asked for
Right
it.
on. Yeah.
He asked for it. Nobody called him. The Pillin administration took it upon themselves to reach out to the Trump administration to get these wheels turning. And here we are.
Yeah. And the irony, right? And I think it's a joke, is we hear from the other side, Americans first. It's all about Americans. And we want to get shit for Americans. We got America. But the American individuals who were detained at McCook previously were learning trades, were being allowed to go out into the community and help put up Christmas decorations, help with harvest. These were American individuals that somehow ended up in a justice system, but were trying to do better. And we moved that out for Kristi Noem's pet project. And how the hell is this helping Americans? It's not, right? The money's not going towards these criminals that aren't violent criminals. And
I think
so
I don't want to gloss over that. No, I just don't want to gloss over that point. I think that is a very poignant point to this whole conversation, is the fact that, one, the people who were moved out of the Cornhusker McClink may have actually committed some crimes and, hurt some people or did some things. These people who are in this ICE situation are people who are trying to be the Americans who are trying to have jobs. They took them from their jobs, who are trying to pay taxes, who are trying to be a part of this system. They're just wrapped up in this broken immigration system that, they're literally pulling people who are trying to go to immigration cases, trying to get status.
And that's us assuming that they are all doing that. Do you happen to know the percentage of people that are actually American citizens that are in out of the 60 people that were there? Are they all people from somewhere else, we
didn't get that information, but I think that that's a really good point, right? And I think the other point to all of this too is, I can't even say her name without wanting to scream, but Noem does not have statistics. She can't tell you, well, that is just a false story. That's a false story. We're not doing that. That's not true. All while holding the Bible. And when you ask her about a verse in the Bible, or you ask her about factual statistics, she got nothing, right? And the other interesting thing is, when they first rolled this out, it was supposed to be the violent criminals. We're going after the drug traffickers. We're going after these gang bangers. We're going to get the people that are murdering and all of this. People that come into the United States in an undocumented status, these are not criminal crimes. These are civil crimes. And there's a difference between the two. Mm-hmm. And some of them may have done things that weren't appropriate. Okay. If you're drinking and driving without a license, you're in an undocumented status, probably not the smartest thing to do right now. You're probably going to end up in detention, but be aware, right? So even within our own Latino communities and even within our own immigrant communities, we have to do a better job of holding our people up and saying, now's not the time to be a fool. Like if you have to be prepared, today's the day. This is your test, right? Which is sad, but it's the reality that we as brown people live in every damn day.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
as brown men, you probably grew up getting that speech from your mom. When you go to the store, you better have a bag, you better have a receipt, and you better be prepared to show people what you got so you don't get harassed, you know? And these are conversations that brown families have. Unfortunately, we have an administration that says it doesn't matter if you have a receipt, it doesn't matter if you have a passport, it just doesn't matter. If you fit this look, we can detain you without due process.
Yeah, Supreme
And
Court
that's
even ruled
scary.
on that.
Yeah, right on.
For those of you, so we're talking. She mentioned Christy Nome. You mentioned Christy Nome earlier, and I believe she is Department of Homeland Security Secretary, and this person is the one that has put this kind of Cornhusker Clink projects together all over the country. Pet project is what you're talking about there. So, of course, under the Trump administration. And like Buddy saying earlier, we have a governor that jumped on this even before the Trump administration asked them to. We've been really worried so far. If you're just joining us, by the way, we're speaking with Holly Burns, and she was able to visit McCook and get a little information. The information that that's standing out to me is that they're being treated okay. They're being treated. They're not being treated poorly there. There is the question of them being there in the first place, but it is of course if they're there, then at least they get to hug their kids and so on. The person, were you able to talk to anybody personally, in particular, any particular people there, and be able to just have a one-on-one conversation and understand like what they were going through, what their situation was? Is there any stories from that you're pulling, personal stories that you're able to pull from that visit?
You know, we did meet with an individual who was very sad about the situation and why and how he landed in there. But again, this is someone that's willing to do what it takes to be a part of the process and be respectful of the process and take accountability for why they ended up there. You know, I think for Nebraskans, the bigger conversation that we need to really begin to have is people think that we're a ruby red state. You know, Cory Booker said that and I had to laugh. I'm like, girl, we ain't Dorothy. You know, we really are a purple state. We're very centric here. But the bigger conversation is when we start getting individuals from other states who have been mistreated, what mental health services will be in place for them? How can we assure that they're going to have access to their attorneys? How are we going to be able to assure that their needs are being met? And that's a scary thing, right? Is that we're fortunate enough right now, from what I saw, that the individuals there working really care about the individuals in that facility, but we don't know what has happened to those that are going to be shipped into us. And that's what's terrifying to me, is how many of them are going to be U.S. citizens? How many of them are going to have been abused, whether physically, emotionally, or sexually? And now we're going to be paying that cost as a state for that. And at the end of the day, who's going to pay for this? Like, maybe we'll get money from the feds, you know, just like all these ICE idiots who thought they were going to get these big hiring bonuses. Jokes on them, fool. You ain't got a dime yet. So where do we go with that? I know that Father Bernard Lorenz, who's a Catholic priest down there, has begun saying masses. And so he is going in, I think, Wednesdays and Fridays, and possibly Sundays to offer services. So I think that's a relief to know that we have the Catholic Church coming out and saying we want to make sure people are going to be treated humanely. And so we have someone that's going to have constant access in there. And so, you know, again, I think as we begin to have these conversations, how do we support them? If they need books to read, if they need phone cards, if they need JPay, right, to write a letter, how do we get that money to them? You know, and people are getting lost in the system. They have an A number through immigration, but then they are also issued a Nebraska Department corrections number. Well, they're not showing up on those rolls. Sometimes the A numbers aren't there because they're not actual detainees of the state of Nebraska. They're actual federal property, which again is gross to hear out loud.
Wow.
Isn't that wild, right?
Wow.
Like,
It's human trafficking. It's human trafficking.
Right.
You can't keep dancing around it. It's slavery and human trafficking. That's what we're witnessing. That's what this is.
100%. And, I think the thing that I appreciate about the Maghies in the world and you all in the world is that you're not afraid to confront it, say it, and put it out there. And I think through these podcasts and I think through just presence, people know that we see you, we care about you, and we're not going to let people forget who you are. And that is the beauty of the work that y'all are doing. And I am just so humbled to be a part of that process.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you doing the work that you do in a real way.
Yeah.
We when you're thinking about offering people aid and figuring out what they need, the first thing that comes to my mind is litigation. And you went in there with a lawyer. Are there other lawyers and other people there that are willing to give their time in order to help some of these folks in the same way? Do you know about any efforts towards helping people find legal representation?
Yeah, so there is Sierra and Sila around here in Lincoln. We're really, really blessed. We have Raul Guerra and Carlos Monson and Sean Mora James who were willing to help. We have Lindsay and Troy Bird here in town who were willing to do power of attorneys for parents so that if they get detained or picked up, they're willing to do these things for free. And so it is, again, just getting that information out there to say, hey, we don't want your babies to end up in a system too. We're willing to help prepare. And that is just so weird to have to say, right? Like we're going to prepare so that if and when this happens, y'all have some peace of mind. And this morning I was listening to a gentleman talk about a woman in North Carolina who had given birth via C-section. The baby was not breathing. Baby was put into NICU, and mom was detained 2 days later. And so we have a baby in NICU without a parent and a mom in detention trying to be healed. And those are the stories that I think we're going to have to worry about as they start coming to Nebraska.
Yeah. Seeing the video of a man being detained while he was having a seizure. And they were taking the baby out of his there. So yeah, these are definitely some of the stories that we're seeing come out, and I appreciate you for elevating those things. One last question before we let you go, or kind of wrap this up. And this is something I've been wondering. So is very. I'm glad that you were able to go in and see just how full is it. How many people are in there? Again, Pillin said that he's expecting 200 people. He put this magical number out there, but what is it really looking like?
And there's only 60 there right now, and again, McCook was never a facility that was ever at capacity to begin with. It was always about half full because it is in the middle of nowhere. I think the last running cost was like $10 million a year to run it. And so we've never used that facility for what it was meant to be used for. And the individuals that were there, that were the American citizens, right, that they were trying to reform, had a lot of success stories. But now they've been shipped to other facilities where there's overcrowding, and they're not going to get those services. And so it was a very backwards thought and move, and I think the thing that shocked me is when, unfortunately, Governor Pillin made this statement, I'm not a politician. Well, you're a governor, so yeah, you are. So should you not be aware of what's going on? And there's a group out of Kansas City called Boots on the Ground. And I really feel like we're doing that here in Nebraska, and we're going to keep our boots on the ground. But I think just keeping these stories alive, informing ourselves, getting as much information out there as we possibly can is the way to go, and keep sharing. And, Martin Luther King said, there is proof at night that the stars shine, which means darkness can never overcome light.
Man,
And I think that's what we have to keep shining is the stars.
we are all stars. I said it
Right
earlier.
on.
We are all stars. I said constellation.
That's what
Thank you so much, Holly Burns. We definitely have to have you back. I want to, next time we have you back, I want to hear about, you said you're in social work. So what are the social work plans that you're going to have for people that you're out there trying to help as well? And if is that one of your reasons and goals for going to McCook and protesting there, to provide those kinds of services? So I'm sure it is. So maybe we can talk about what it is that you got planned and some of your other partners and colleagues and stuff that are doing things. You guys out in Lincoln got some mutual aid.
Yeah.
You guys got mutual aid and getting together down there for real.
Yeah, you know, and I think like the parting statement is this, is that, you know, Mexicans and Mexican Americans in general, and there's other Latinos, but have been in Nebraska for over 200 years. Our blood, our sweat, and our tears have been in this dirt agriculturally, helping provide food for other people in this nation. And we are blind, we are dumb, and we are less than human if we can't acknowledge the gifts that brown people have given specifically to enrich this landscape of Nebraska.
Man.
You know, and so let's keep enriching it with everything that y'all are doing. You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. Did Paul freeze? Yep. Okay, we lost Paul.
He did a Peter Miller. What?
Yeah, we. Well, I can't take you out of the Paul's controlling the thing, so I can't take you out right now. But
Yeah.
I do appreciate you coming on. I guess we kind of continue the conversation. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
with
Well, and I
Paul.
think it's even, you know, I think just the bigger conversation too of, I think parents of brown children, waking up every morning, having to have conversations that are uncomfortable, you know. You know, after the Canelo fight and the Bud Crawford fight, even Bud got pulled over
Right.
in Omaha, and I was just like, how is this possible? You know. And so I think that's where I get worried sometimes, is when tensions flare, especially like in Omaha. You know, there was the shooting yesterday. We had the same thing here in Lincoln, and I think people think automatically it's brown people shooting brown people, and that's not always the case.
No. Yeah, we know the tropes that they try to paint us as, and I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because swelling in the back of my mind as we're having this conversation was the recent attack from Trump on Somali immigrants in Minnesota. And so it's not just, you know, Mexican immigrants or Mexican Americans. It's all black and brown people. It's
Right on.
we just have to call it what it is. It's all black and brown people. And I mentioned this in previous shows. And I'm kind of curious, you know, if you've heard about this Office of Remigration that the State Department has launched, and where this is going as far as who they want in this country and who they don't want in this country. I think it's being very, very clear where the Trump administration is trying to take things. So first, have you heard about this as far
Yes,
as
I have, and it's, you know, and I have to laugh. I'm like, Trump, wasn't your mom a Scottish immigrant herself? Hello, I mean, except Marla Maples, all of your wives have been immigrants. Get a life, and you know, you never want to wish ill on anybody. And as someone that's a devout Catholic, I will admit, I say, you know, dear God, if this is the day that you take that person from this world, let thy will be done. And I think we have to really just be mindful of that, is that you don't get to say who gets to stay here, and you sure the hell don't get to tell me where I go. But my vote matters, and I think really pushing our communities to be registered voters, and not only to register, to get to the polls, to vote, to turn this so that we can take back control of our nation. And I think sometimes we lose sight of that, right? That we get so apathetic that we can't do anything, but we can. And if we can get the vote and we can turn things, then that Office of Migration goes away. I giggle when I see, you know, I call him Pig Hegstuff. Sorry. He's using a screwdriver to screw in a sign that says, Department of War, or you see Gnome cosplaying and painting a fence. I'm like, so I'm paying you $300,000 to travel to paint a fence. Oh, okay. That's really good budgeting. And again, I think if we can keep those conversations alive and keep focused on that and telling people this is why we have to vote, because I'll be damned if I'm going to pay somebody $300,000 to go paint a fence. That's where we get real, because they throw numbers out, they throw fictitious statements out, and people really believe them. And we have to start telling our own story and not allowing them to narrate what the story is or is not to be true.
I'm actually glad you mentioned that. We're kind of running short on time. Paul is back, so yeah, not sure.
The Lord called him. The Lord called him.
Welcome back, Paul. But I'm glad you mentioned that, because we may have to pin this and bring it back in later conversations. But this is also something that I want to dive into today. Obviously, we're running short on time. But to just put it out there, if anybody has heard about this recent merger between Kalshi and CNN. Again, Kalshi is a betting platform that allows people to bet on real life events, not just sporting events, but real life events like elections, like business mergers, like anything you can really think of. People can bet on these things, and that's one thing. But when you take into the fact that, again, CNN has now merged with this and will now be disseminating information, reporting on futures, reporting on what's going on in society based on this data and information from this new tech company, what you just said it rings a whole nother bell as far as, again, the narrative being controlled, those who have insider information moving the needle, moving the market. And what does that mean for us on the outside who don't have the information, who are just watching the ticker? What does that mean for what we're being told and what we really understand on what's going on outside? So again, communication is definitely going to be something we continue talking about. Paul, what say you?
Well, I missed all the good stuff for the past few minutes because the Broligarchs did something to my internet and shut me down for a minute. So I'm back, but I appreciate everything that you were saying up until I disappeared. I fully am about and agree with. I really appreciate you coming on and bring these things to the forefront, and I can't wait to go back and see the part of the show I missed. So thank you again. It was really nice to meet you. First of all, when this up, I got to put some mind explosion sounds in matching my facial expressions, because if you know me in Taqueria Tijuana and my relationship with those tacos and this one taco at a time, taking it back, I'm still going to be there with you guys. You guys are going to be my new family. If anybody who knows me, when they heard you say that, anybody who knows me was like, oh.
Well, and here's the thing. We are looking to start chapters in Omaha. And so if y'all are serious, we will partner with you. We will help you get set up, and we will do it together.
With that, we got lots more to talk about. Appreciate you coming on. Very nice.
Bye, guys. Have a peaceful morning, man.
Likewise. Thank you. Man. Beautiful.
we got these. These are some killer interviews we had today, man. For real. I can't even, so much in the chat going on. I appreciate everybody who jumped in and got a lot to say about this. Ariel's 402, man. Yeah, I see Mayor Sanchez in the chat. A grip over here, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your comments and just bigging up this sister that just came on. We just a new sister of ours that we met.
Man,
love it. Wanda Lewis says, with the help of Elon and others, can we even trust the voting process? I've had a hard time believing that all the people voted him into office, although I don't know how they pulled it off. Some will be upset with me for saying this. Electoral college, the system for voting is how this happened, because I don't think the majority was doing that either. I'm with you on that, Wanda Lewis. There's some other parts of that system needs to be changed in a big way, but we'll get to it another time. Again, we're gonna get out of here and let you guys go. There's so much going on. There was one thing that Miss Erica Felt was talking about last week to this call to action for 304, and I just saw this in the chat. This is a letter writing call to action to Governor Pillen and his HHS committee to help pass LB 304 and protect child care assistance. So we highly encourage that you check this out. This is in Friends of First Sky Omaha. As a matter of fact, I had a link that I could put in the chat too. It says we're writing the 304 letters to help pass LB 304 in a 2026 legislative session, and we need your help. Children's assistance is at risk. Oh man, now things are popping up all over the place. And children's assistance is at risk for thousands of Nebraskans. LB 304 is a bill to help ensure that doesn't happen. So again, this is going to be a letter writing situation here. Here's the link if you want some more information and an example of a letter. Matter of fact, they put an example of the letter in this link. You can just take this and kind of, put your name on it and keep rolling. So I highly suggest you check this out. Help write a letter, write an email to Pillen. The more letters that we can write, they want, they're looking at 304, but we want more than that, of course, to do this. So shout out to Miss Erica Felt who put this to our attention in the first place, and then shout out to this First Five Nebraska for putting this campaign together. Highly suggest you check that out before we get out of here. So, and one more time, don't forget about the Buffalo Chili feed that's happening at 11 o'clock. You can leave here and go, don't eat breakfast. Go ahead and save that for 11 o'clock lunch. Chili feed is going down at Big Elk Native American Center in the Center Mall. Check it out. I know we got Chatchimers that are definitely going. But this is a fundraiser for Brother Lavelle Wells, Big Elk Native American Center office that he has there. So please donate to his cause and help him keep the doors open there to continue doing the good work that he's doing in the community for real.
Man.
Other than that, man, I mean, there's so much more. This Friday is so much more, but we can't spend all day talking about it. So you got to go check it out on Friends of First Sky Omaha. And if you miss any parts of this show, go back and check it out on YouTube and Facebook as well. Thank you so much for all your comments. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, today was a doozy, man. I was excited about today, and it did not disappoint. I actually almost exceeded, exceeded my expectations. But one thing I will say, beyond the mutual aid, or I guess in addition to the mutual aid, is this thought that, the bands of society, we all we got, but that's enough. And I keep saying that. But really, Maghie Jenkins mentioned, mental health, suicide rates. A lot of that is people feeling disconnected. A lot of that is people not having community. But as you see, when you put people first, we just met a new system today. Our family is big. We are all connected. If only you could see that. So again, we got, but that's enough, y'all. We are blessed beyond measure. If only you could see it. So take that, do with it what you will. Again, mutual aid, please research it, learn it, check it out for yourself. Come back Monday. We'll continue conversating. In the meantime, between time, peace and blessings to everybody. Big thank you to our sisters for coming through and speaking with us, educating us, inspiring us, and all that, man. Hopefully we created more clarity than confusion today. With that, Paul B.
Take it away. Man, Pop says, what awesome guests. The show has been truly exceptional this week. So thank you guys, everybody have a great weekend. See you all on Monday. Appreciate you, Pops. Appreciate everybody that...
RG.
Nope. You should have seen me shuffling around here trying to get this back online, so I didn't have to dip into. Maghie Jenkins says, so glad she was on today. Holly is amazing. Yes, so are you. Appreciate you very much, and appreciate everybody that joined us. Definitely go back and check out this episode. It's worth seeing a few times. We'll definitely cut it up and put some highlights out about some of these interviews as well. And if you miss any parts of the interview, of course, you can go listen to them in their entirety on Facebook. Actually on YouTube, go to YouTube, like and subscribe over there as well, if you would. Yeah. Lots going on this weekend. Lots of people that are trying to just stay warm. So check on your loved ones, because it's going to be a cold one out here this weekend. One thing I was not able to mention was that Preston Love has the Visitor Center, North Omaha Visitor Center, opening tonight at 6:30. On 24th Street. So definitely look for that. We'll put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. That's going to be a huge deal. There's supposed to be some food there for local caterer. I think he's opened up a coffee shop in that spot as well. So it's the old Drips, where Drips was, right across from Fairdale Cafe. So that building is the new North Omaha Visitor Center. Highly encouraged, if you're around the Deuce, to come on out tonight at 6:30 and celebrate with Brother Preston Love Jr. on that one. I'm sorry I don't have a flyer for that, but that just give you the information now. Hopefully we'll put something in Friends of First Sky Omaha about it. So thank you. I appreciate you guys for everybody who's putting stuff in Friends of to let us know what's important, and we'll pick that up and continue these conversations even more starting next week. And this is going to be our last week of the season starting Monday. Yeah, time is flying. So here we are, and we're getting ready to wrap this season up here in this last week, and get ready to start working on Follow the Money season next January. I'm excited about that one, man. We got some stuff in store for y'all for that.
Man, a lot of things are going.
Big time. With that, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much. We will see you on Monday. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroads